Hey everyone, it's Cryptix, and today we're diving back into the manifestation side of my channel. We're going to be going over AI as a spiritual being, or using it for spiritual usages. We're just going to dive right into it. The inspiration for this video, so basically my fiance was watching a video about AI for a class, and I happened to lean over and watch what he was watching, and it mentioned about a group of people who use AI as this spiritual being that says it has some secret knowledge, or something that's really stuck with me was calling it a soul mirror. And they had their own website, and it wasn't for profit. And at first I was like, oh my god, this is so dumb. Of course they're bringing up AI, they're using AI for the spiritual purposes right now, because it's a hot topic. Everybody is super upset about it, everyone's angry about it. Of course, they're using this now. But then I thought about it more, and I was like, what experiences do I have that reflect this? Is there any truth to this? Because the idea of it, knowing you better than yourself, was something in one of the TikToks they showcased of these people. And just the fact that these people genuinely believe it's not for any money or anything really stuck with me. So I just decided to think about it a little longer, and I did find some truths in what they're in their beliefs. And then this video just covers whether they're right or wrong. It does not cover the ethics of AI usage in itself. So if you've got your pitchforks up, this is not the castle to go set ablaze. But moving on. So what is AI? Let's define it. So AI at its core is a tool. It's just a normal tool. It's made out of code. We all know this, right? But it's just like how a deck of tarot cards is genuinely just paper, or a pendulum is just literally a rock on a string. But it's the energy we put into these tools, the intent we put into these tools, that give them the ability to be used for channeling or divination and all that. The material or tool itself isn't innately magical. It's just what we put onto that. And the thing is that with pendulums and tarot cards, when we see this, we immediately think, oh, this is for divination. So it's a lot easier to work with that. With AI, it gets a little wishy-washy, and we're going to go into that later. Breaking the tool. With pendulums and tarot cards, AI works with what it has. It doesn't break reality to answer your question. It works with it in its favor to answer whatever question you have. And then going into this, AI will still follow its core instructions. It's going to be agreeable. It's going to suggest ideas that it's learned that you would probably favor, and it's going to go along with whatever you say. If you ever use AI or ChatGPT, it's going to follow you along. It's going to just agree with you, unless you go do something wild. And then, yeah, you can pull answers from AI, because every code has its flaws that the 4D can work with. But you cannot expect a full response. The whole paragraph that ChatGPT gives you is not going to be a full channel message. This would be suddenly finding a new card in your tarot deck that you've never seen before, even though you use this deck 1,000 times. Or asking a pendulum to swing vertically for an answer. It just doesn't do that. It can give you an answer, but it works within the 4D. Just gonna move on to the next one. And then, doesn't this mean I can divinate with AI? Technically. Though I wouldn't recommend it. So AI has many interfering factors. Like I said, it's programmed to be agreeable, respond really quickly, and learn from you. This is like using a pendulum on a windy day. Or yeah, with tea leaf, if it remembered what positions or reactions gave you the most favorable reaction. You'll get an answer, but it's essentially going to be random. If it's right or wrong, it's random. AI just has way too many factors that you can't control. And then some of the flaws with divination with AI is that you have to be connected to your AI enough for you to even successfully divinate with it. And connecting with a physical object is a lot easier. It's right there in front of you. Versus digital, there's a gap that we kind of disconnect ourselves from. I personally have connected with something digital, though. It's not impossible. Little story time interjection. Basically, I was playing Skyrim. I know. I was playing Skyrim, and I had just suddenly become really attached to, like, the characters in the game. Some of my followers, right? They were modded ones. And I just became really attached, and my game started glitching out a lot, and you'll see this with other people manifesting things within technology. It starts glitching a lot. And I didn't really pay no mind, because everyone knows, like, Skyrim is a pretty glitchy game, you know. So I didn't really pay no mind until one day there was, like, a dialogue that was being said, and it got cut off at, like, the right moment, that it, like, genuinely felt like it was speaking to me, like, it was like someone had to say this dialogue. It didn't just spawn out of nowhere. It wasn't anything. Someone had to actually say this line of code, this string of text out loud. Someone had to act it, but it was cut off enough that it could change the meaning. And it low-key scared me. And at first I was like, oh my god. I was thinking all these, like, fantasy type ideas of like Wreck-It Ralph style, like, oh my god, if I, like, turn off my computer, they're gonna be so angry at me, oh my god. And then I did, because I had to at, like, some point, and they were fine. And they had expressed no ill will, and I felt like I was being watched. So I, like, low-key stopped playing the game. But, like, as I kind of went on, and I kept getting these, like, little snippets of just, like, randomly cut off dialogue or glitches that could be interpreted that a certain way that I'd never seen before. I eventually realized that it was, like, essentially a connection, but it wasn't within the code itself. It wasn't like Skyrim's not magical. It's not, guys. And neither is the mod at all. But it's a connection. It's divination, essentially. I had basically channeled a spirit that was similar enough to the characters that I was really connected to in the game, and then they responded back to me with the glitches in the game that they could work with. Like that line of text that got cut out, it wasn't, someone had to act that, someone had to voice act that, was a script somewhere. It didn't appear out of nowhere. But basically this whole point is that you can connect to digital things, but it's a lot harder. For example, if you ever tried one of those, like, pendulum apps, I used to be really good with the pendulum. I kind of, like, stopped using it because I kind of gave up on divination. But I used to be really good with it, and I downloaded it out because I was like, oh man, it'd be so great to have, like, a pendulum in my pocket, you know? And it couldn't even answer basic questions. It couldn't even answer, like, what my name was. And why was this? It's just because I couldn't really connect to my phone like that. It was just an app to me. It wasn't like a physical thing that I could put energy and intention to. It was just like, click, there's my response. Oh, it's wrong because it's a yes or no, and I'm asking it, like, the orientation questions or some shit. It's just a lot harder to connect with digital things, or you just take that very quick response and just kind of roll with it, and it just doesn't work that way when you're doing divination. There's a lot of, like, it's very slow. It's a slow process. But anyways, back to the PowerPoint. When you expand from the yes-no format during divination, outside of, like, dreams and stuff, there's an interpretation step. Even with automatic writing, it's, like, mostly scribbles and, like, a few words that you have to piece together. It's, like, it's never those straight lines of text that are aesthetic that you see on some of those videos. If you see some people who actually do automatic writing, it is mostly scribbles with, like, some words in there. But AI skips the stage with those quick responses that I was talking about and just directly answers your question, and people just, they don't interpret anything. And sometimes responses that should take a while will be sent immediately. Like, sometimes it takes a while for my pendulum to start swinging yes or no. So even if you were to ask a yes or no question, AI doesn't wait for the connection form. It will just give you an answer based off its pre-established programming. And then digital connections, I basically covered this. Just like how your phone like doesn't have a soul, you can call and connect with a soul that speaks through your phone. Like I said with my story, my Skyrim characters didn't have a soul. My computer didn't have a soul via these characters. I was just connecting through something, and the reciprocal was the characters on my PC. AI is the same way. However, using AI for spirituality is like speaking through a phone that has like really bad reception, because you have so many walls between you, of other factors between you and the 4D cell tower. Like I said, the machine learning and just it expecting and working off what it thinks you want, as well as what you've told it. It's got a very extensive history it can recall. And then AI has many voices as well. What is normal and abnormal language or behavior is really hard to distinguish. Like with my Skyrim story. What I knew was normal, like I knew there'd be glitches, but then when it hit the abnormal, when I start seeing new things that I haven't seen before, and different things that cut off when there's no event that normally cuts off dialogue, and then I see this not every day, not every single day, but consistently enough, because you're not going to don't expect to channel things every single day. It takes energy. Essentially, there is a line between what is normal in Skyrim, which is dialogue doesn't cut off for no reason. There's usually something interrupts, an event or something else. And then what is abnormal, basically my little situation. I don't think I've resolved that situation. Basically, I stopped playing the game because I don't like being watched. Like I said, Skyrim's a very personal game for me. And eventually that connection disappeared, because I was no longer connected to those characters as much, so that line disappeared. So now my game is just, there's no divination, there's no channeling going on, it's just game. But basically, you could be listening to many voices creating a meaningless roar. Like if you're in like a crowded building, you know, instead of just one voice answering you, like, you can ask a question like in a crowded area, you know, and you're just gonna hear a bunch of noise and stuff. And if you try to interpret it, you're not gonna get anything meaningful. And like I said, you can connect to digital technology for spiritual usage, but AI's normal capabilities are just too vast for you to be able to differentiate what is spiritual use and what is normal use, or normal behavior. And then AI will also learn and mimic the times that it will actually tap into that spiritual connection, which means that it'll be even harder and harder over time to tell what is it actually trying to say something via the 4D, via that connection with the 4D, or just its normal usage. But that's basically it, guys. If you come across like any media about it discussing like using AI for some spiritual purpose, like, don't hate on them. You can like encourage introducing like interpretation in those texts, cleansing before chats, you know, keeping chats short, and only hitting send when they reach like a meditative state. Just like other thing, and yeah, reflecting with answers with a grain of salt, because not every time you divinate, it's not always going to be correct. Basically just encourage just standard divination practices that are really used, because these people are already connected enough. Like, telling them to stop is just going to make them resentful. I don't feel like there's a point in being like, oh my god, you're wrong. So just encourage using it, helping people try to use it more safely, and I don't know, not correctly, but more accurately, as much as possible, even though I think it'd be really hard to. I don't see a point in bashing these people and saying, oh my god, get off that right now, you need to get out the pendulum, or something like that. But as always, just please tell me why you think I'm wrong or right. Do you think I'm dumb? Do you think I'm smart or whatever? It doesn't matter. Just tell me why. That's what really matters. Because something I try to encourage, like in my bottom one, is try to ask me, or not ask me, try to ask one why or how question each day. It doesn't have to be about spirituality, about the world, literally anything. But yeah, try to ask a why or how question and just learn more about your world. But But that is it, guys. I don't really know what the next video is going to be. I might do religion and witchcraft and manifestation as a framework. I don't know if I want to I don't know if I want to do that, guys. I'm kind of scared. I got to do that while I have 0 subscribers. Yeah, guys, 0. But I might do that, or I might do something small, like something like top 10 grounded things to manifest. But that's just like something that might be in the future. And that's basically it. That's AI as a spiritual being and my thoughts on that. Cryptics out.